Well, I've been joined by two of my great mates. To look back, we're on the verge of 20 years since the 2005 Ashes. Looking forward, 8 months' time, to the 2025 Ashes Down Under. It's going to be a fantastic series. But Simon Jones, Matthew Hoggard, I mean, Lords, 20 years ago, what an atmosphere it was in this pavilion, and what a great time, Si.
It was amazing. Look, you're hard work. Yeah, it's one of those things we built up for 4 years, and we were a settled team, and we were mates, and we turned up against the Aussies, which were, let's be honest, a team of legends. And we thought, yeah, we're gonna have a crack at these lads. And it was just like, normally the long run was quite subdued. When we walked through that morning, when we were bowling, it was unreal. Yeah, it was unreal. And Vaughan made the speech before we went out, and it was, it's something that you'll never forget.
What can you remember the build-up, Hoggy?
Yeah, again, as you say, we were a settled side. We were together for 4 years. Amazing reception, build-up, but it was when the action came, we hit them hard. As I say, we hit Langer, we hit Matthew Hayden,
did, yeah.
We hit Ricky. Well, as I say, we did. It were you. But we weren't going to take a backward step.
No.
And I thought we bowled them out for less than 200 in the first innings, and I thought, do you know what? We're in with a chance here.
We were on top until tea time on day one, weren't we?
We let our bars off, and then it
went a bit Pete Tong from there. But I mean, going, fast forward, we go through the series. This was obviously a great start, great atmosphere. We knew we could take 20 wickets, which gave us a great momentum going through the series. We went to Edgbaston, and Edgbaston was memorable for a whole host of reasons. I mean, Glenn McGrath standing on the ball.
Ricky Ponting winning the toss.
Ricky Ponting winning the toss was
strange decision.
It was I think it was an ego decision. We're watching McGrath go to hospital, but there was a couple of things that happened in that series. I mean, you got Hayden out first ball. Vaughan keeps telling that story that Straussy was there because he was coming back on the field, but there was a plan.
Yeah, I think, as you say, Duncan Fletcher, a great thinker of the game, along with Michael Vaughan, great strategist, and to put that man in front of Hayden, and catching up with Haydos after the series, he went, you really messed me up, because I didn't know whether to hit it along the floor, hit it through him, or hit it over him. So he was in two minds whether to hit me for a 4 or a 6, and just managed to chip it to him. Yeah,
which was always very nice. You put a partnership on, which I think it's got a little bit forgetting about. You and Fred put a partnership on at the end of the third innings, which by the end of the Test match, that 50 runs was vital. What was it like out in the middle? Because he was going money, he was ticking.
It was awesome to watch. Obviously, batting with Fred is fun anyway.
Yeah.
But
how many
fact,
did you score?
I scored 23. I think.
You see, I can't remember that either.
Yeah, it's more than you.
It's not hard.
But
we'll come on to him in a minute.
The thing was, though, like, I was watching Fred, I was thinking, right, I'm facing Brett Lee, and this is horrific. He hit me in a pad and I didn't move. And then Fred was putting him in the stand easily. But then I was facing Kaspovic and the other bowlers, and I was thinking, it's like slow motion because of Brett Lee. And it just opened my eyes as to how good him and, say, Kev or the other lads are, that they can see the ball so clearly and easily when they're facing them. I was thinking, I was thinking, don't die.
How rubbish the tail end is.
I was thinking, don't die today.
He bowled unbelievable in that series.
He's unreal.
Quickly, but going, there's a couple of things in that fourth innings, which is memorable for. It was an epic fourth innings. I mean, you were bowling at the opposite end to the changing rooms. Fred was trying to get me off, and then he came on and bowled that over, didn't he, to Ricky Ponting?
Oh, what an over that was! 7 balls, because he bowled a
rapid
no
as
ball.
well.
And you say, you look on YouTube, it's the best over in cricket, and I think Andrew Flintoff, that series was the best player on the planet. He had a point to prove. He hadn't played Australia before. He had Rocket Man playing relentlessly.
That was his first Ashes as well.
Over again.
It was his first Ashes one.
And he wanted to prove to the world that he could play cricket. And boy, did he prove it.
It was an unbelievable over. Slow ball at the end of the day. We got to 100. I was knackered.
The worst slow ball I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going to bowl you a slow ball now.
So it was the worst slower ball in history. The only person that's never picked it is Michael Clark, and I mean, it had him twice, had him LBW and bowled. So it wasn't a bad one at the end. 107 to win going on that morning. I was 11:15. I thought I was going to be in the walkabout singing 1-1. Here we go, and the series is on. But it didn't come that way. We got down to the nitty gritty, and I've always said the one person I didn't want the ball to go to in the air for like the catch was yours, not because of how bad your hands are,
but how bad your hands are.
Yeah, but how bad your hands are, but because of the dive, you had to dive. And what was going through your mind after that?
I was thinking, don't lose your teeth, because I'd lost it in the crowd.
Yeah,
I was thinking, right, I've got to go for it, so I've dived forward, and then it's hit my wrist basically. And I thought, oh no, you dropped the Ashes. P45 in a post.
I had
recovering from that.
A brilliant view.
I bet you
I
did,
was mid-on watching you.
Thought you would.
And I just thought, I was so gutted because I thought if we lose this, you get the blame. But thankfully,
that's quite nice of you, that.
I do love you, And then you bowled that ball down. Was Skackovic punched?
I was going to say,
his hand off the bat.
It was a nice little grubber down leg side. And we go 1-1 to Old Trafford. Old Trafford was amazing. 5 in the second innings. I still think that if you hadn't had a cramp at the end of the day, we would have won that Test match because I had to come back on. I had nothing left.
So again,
that was
you had just finished. Your fault again.
That was Fred's fault.
That was
Fred's fault. Because I saw him drinking Red Bull. I thought I'll have a crack at that.
Yeah.
And then I just cramped up.
He cramped up. But the one ball, the iconic ball in that series that comes to mind from your point of view is the one that Clark left.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unreal.
Yeah. It was nice to look. Let's be honest. Clarkie is a proper player, isn't he? And to set him up the way he did, 2 overs of away swing and then come back and take his off stump was nice. And to hear him go, oh, whatever, was even better. But
the sound of the stump as well.
Yeah, people use it as their ringtones and stuff. Slightly worrying, isn't it? You must have a pretty boring life if you're using that. But
we're not exactly like pictures of health now. We're not anybody's sort of face on the front of the phones now.
No,
it might have been 20 years ago. But
that was unreal. Yeah.
And then we go to Trent Bridge, and you hit a 4 to nearly win us the game.
Yeah, hit 4. That's the first time I've hit a 4. They come off the middle-ish.
I was going to say, it was a good job Brett Lee was bowling 95 mile an hour.
Yeah, he bowled 95 mile. I put my bat in the way, and 5,000 fans at Ratcliffe were all going... It managed to blow it over the boundary. So yeah, to score that 12 we needed when I went out to walk off with Ash. He just walked off, say, Hoggy, tonight we are kings. And that feeling walking off, going 2-1 up, with the crowd reaction at Trent Bridge was.
He should have been in the dressing room. He's got a medical boot on. We're trying to get a Puma pad on him to send him out before me. That's how good we were at batting. But you mentioned being out there with Ash at the end. I remember being out there with Ash at the Oval off the back of Kev's 100, and by the time I got out there, because I think I went out as Kev came in, so Kev got out, I went in, and Ash was about 40 or 50 at the time, and that was it. We'd won then. But Peterson's 100, you were close to Kev during that series. Yeah. Not many people were close to Kev, but you were close to Kev. You weren't.
He's Marmite, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a good man. Unbelievable player.
He's got a heart of gold, and his mouth is 20 seconds quicker than his brain. But Kev is a good man, and what a genius he is.
What a
he was unreal.
Genius. What I mean, we didn't move, did we, in that dressing room?
No,
because we were in trouble at one time.
We were massive trouble, and as you say, Tatey was bowling rapid. Brett Lee was bowling rapid, and he was pulling and hooking. He could have been out first ball though. Like Glenn McGrath on the hat trick.
Warney dropped him.
Warney dropped it.
Well, off the shoulder, didn't it?
It came off the shoulder. Great decision
by
Rudy because he couldn't review it.
Yeah.
But you saw it in real life. You thought, oh,
yeah.
But not out. And then to him and Gilo. I mean, Gilo. 50 from Gilo and that 100 from KP, but he's still in the balance a little bit. What I didn't understand is when Australia came off for bad light, because they didn't come out and say, right, then we're going to actually go for them. They just came out and went, no, we're taking our bat and balls home, and they went home and sulked.
And they did. It was dark. To be fair, it was dark, and I remember saying it hit Matthew in and Langer went off. When we went out, I was like, we're just going to bowl bouncers at you. It's dark here. We're going to bowl bouncers. You need 300 to win. I'm sorry. This is what, let's go. So Oggy's going to bowl over your head, so you'll be all right. But, I mean, we've won the series, but the one person that we've mentioned, Fred, there's three of us talking, but Giles was massive for us.
Oh, yeah, he's huge.
We all talk about the four fast bowlers, but Ashley Giles was huge.
Yeah, but you look at the catches he took, the runs he scored, and it like that wicket at Old Trafford when he got Martin. What a ball that was! That was as good as Warren's, I reckon.
I was going to say that was.
And he doesn't get the plaudits he should because he just went under the radar because we had self and Fred and Hogg himself. So yeah, Giles was immense in that series.
Massively, and again, we'll go back to it when we fast forward, but the fantastic thing about 2005 is every bowler challenged the batsman's technique in different ways. We weren't all the same. We all had different attributes and challenged batsmen. So if my best ball wasn't good enough, then we got somebody else on, and if their best ball. And the other thing that was great about that series is nobody cared who got the wickets. We were properly, we just need 10 wickets and let's get off this wicket as possible.
And that was the thing, the point to be made, the great late Shane Warne, he got 40 wickets in that series.
Unreal.
If it hadn't been for him, Australia would have been absolutely
Well, the series wouldn't have been as wouldn't have been as good as what it was because we would have won more
easily.
Comfortably. I think our leading wicket taker was Fred with 21 or 22. So that's
And what did he average with the bat?
And he, to be fair, Warney as well.
Yeah,
Warney with a bat he was a pain in the backside with a bat more than he was with a ball. But I'll go. The celebration was. The celebration. We can touch on it, but it's not something I want to go too hard on. I always felt.
Is that because you can't remember it?
I can't remember too much about it. I always remembered that I felt as though it was disrespectful to go. I didn't want to go on the bus trip and do it while Australia were in the country. I'd rather did it when they were in the air. But that was just my take on it. I thought the series was too good to rub somebody's nose in it on both sides. They possibly would have rubbed ours nose in it, but
didn't they put a DVD out the day after they beat us in Adelaide the following series?
Yeah, but wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? After what happened, you would. So, I mean, great memories, great series.